everyone, and welcome to another Top 5 Records video and another one in a series in which I'm taking a closer look at the full discography of the Beatles. And today I have arrived at Sergeant Pepper's. It was a very interesting moment in time. The years before that, there was this competition going on, and competition and inspiration between the Beatles in the UK and somewhat Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys in the US and Bob Dylan also in the US. Now, 1966, everybody put the stakes way up high. I mean, Brian Wilson heard Rubber Soul and thought, oh my god, am I ever gonna top that? And he did. Sorry for Rubber Soul fans, and I like Rubber Soul obviously, but Pet Sounds came out, and Pet Sounds was such an incredible step forward. Same thing counts for Bob Dylan, who went on to go down to Nashville and record one of his most unique, bizarre, one of the biggest leaps in musical development of that decade, Blonde on Blonde. So what was to be done in 1967? How could this competition go any further? Well, Bob Dylan had a motorcycle accident and he quit music for a couple of years. Came back pretty soon, I believe even in 1968, so a couple of years. He just, he did not do a big release. Then, Brian Wilson started to lose his mind during the Smile Sessions. And although Smile Smile is a great album, and the Smile Sessions, later on released, I believe in 2004, is also an impressive album, it was all down to the Beatles, and the Beatles did something so incredible. Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I was listening to this in the chronological challenge, it's not even a challenge, it's pure fun. In the chronological thing I'm doing right now for this channel, and I put this on mono, and it got me back to the time when I first got this record. I was 15 years old. In our house, my parents did not play the Beatles. There was one full album, one LP, one piece of vinyl of the Beatles, A Hard Day's Night, which I did not fancy. But at school, there was a teacher who had her vinyl collection in the classroom, somewhere in a corner of the classroom. We would practice. We would do some band practice for music lessons, and I'd find this beautiful collection, and she had this album. And when I held this for the first time, I was amazed. It is such a beautiful cover. It is such a beautiful packaging. There's so much mystique and myth going on if you open it. But I had never heard it. It was before you could download entire albums. And I hate downloading. And buying a CD or a piece of vinyl was very expensive. So what did my teacher do? She lent me her CD of Sgt. Pepper's. And I got home in the evening. I went to my bedroom all alone. And I put the CD on. And I was blown away. I did not think that the Beatles would impress me that much. I thought I liked harder, rougher music. Sgt. Pepper's blew me away, and all these years, this record just seems to keep blowing me away. Right now, I put it on after listening to all the other albums, and I thought, I was so impressed by Rubber Soul and Revolver again. I thought, yeah, will I still be impressed by Sgt. Pepper's in that line of listening? And to be frank, I'm in awe. In awe. Seriously, I'm in awe. Like when you go to see an impressive painting, like the time when I saw the Night Watch by Rembrandt in real life. Like that kind of in awe. You're just in awe that this has been made, and the way it sounds, and what's going on. Reviewing this song for song is somewhat odd, because I think that an album like Revolver or Rubber Soul is much more song driven, and Sgt. Pepper's is there for the incomplete listen. But you know what? I'm gonna do it nevertheless because I fucking love this album. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, this first song, when it opens, I mean, it's a nice, rough song. It has this beautiful edge. I love the guitar on this mono pressing. It's such a full, fierce sound. And the sense that you're in a theater or in a circus and all these things are gonna happen. It is just, it's such a powerful opener. Then we go to A Little Help from My Friends, which... can I say I prefer the Joe Cocker version? Nevertheless, when listening to it, I never think of Joe Cocker because it is in the complete structure and the concept so well fitting and so good. It just doesn't cross my mind while listening to it. Then we get to Lucy's in the Sky with Diamonds. It's magical song, a great Lennon song. I listen to it a lot. I wouldn't put it on out of the context of this album anymore, but that counts for a lot of the songs because as a piece, it is just so impressive. Getting Better All the Time, lovely song. I really lovely, cheerful, nice song. Fixing a Hole Where the Rain Set In. Beautiful song about, I believe it's just about fixing a hole that leaks. Seriously, that's what it's about. But the production and all the sound effects and everything that's going on and the melodies, it just lifts it up beyond the context of what it's going about. That's so bizarre. If you're taking a literal look at what the Beatles are singing about in this album, it's just cheerful, a lot of home kitchen lyrics. Home kitchen in the sense of that a lot of the songs are just around your home. It's apart from the Within You Without You song, which might be somewhat a journey, the lyrics are very close. Yet, then we go to She's Leaving Home, which this is one of the best writings the Beatles have done. It's the story of a young girl leaving home, and the way you have on one hand her vocal or her perspective, and then John Lennon who does the parents. We give up most of our lives. Those lines, the melody and lyrics put together, it is of incredible beauty. We struggled hard to get by. It's begging for the benefit of Mr. Kite. There will be a show tonight. Lovely tune. I love it. Then side 2, Within You Without You. The odd one out. The odd one, George Harrison out. But beautiful in this context. It's I love the way how it floats. And when I'm 64, this might be one of my favorites. It's that why? It's so tough to explain. It's so hopeful. I think it's one of the most beautiful love songs ever because it has hope for a beautiful, intimate love in the future. Though it asks the question, will you still be there? But yeah, it's fragile. It's intimate. I think it's a beautiful song. Lovely Rita. Nice song. Good morning. I was listening to this with my dog for the first time, and the dog I had before this, she hated the Beatles. Whenever I put a Beatles record on, she'd walk out of the room. This was the first album I put on for her. She was fine with Sgt. Pepper's. She didn't walk away when I put Sgt. Pepper's on. All the other Beatles records, she would walk out of the room. I was in a record store once, and she was on the other side of the record store, and the record owner had a beautiful monocopy of, I believe, Help. He put it on, and she walked from the other side of the store, getting attention to me, give me a paw, give me a look. I'm not having this. I'm not going to walk out because we're in a record store, and I'm not having this. She didn't like it. Now, my new dog, Layla, she's not going to come in the video. Layla listened to this for the first time. And she was completely fascinated by Good Morning. Because of all the sound elements going on. She was just, what's there? And she heard animals on this record, and she's very much in for this album. So this dog has a bit better taste than the other one, I guess. No. Ending off with the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band reprise, love it, and then A Day, not ending it off because the actual ending is A Day in the Life, which I think competes for best Beatles song with the last piece of the medley from Abbey Road. It's just magical, mesmerizing. As a whole, this is a masterpiece. This is... yeah. I love it. One of the best albums ever made. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave a comment below and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.